With your host, Scott Hardy, and your phone calls at 256-234-6221. If it's sports in the Lake Martin area, we cover it. The Lake Martin Sports Roundup, right now.
Good Tuesday afternoon and evening out there to everybody, and welcome into the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you till 7 o'clock. We're going to be with you till 9. Me and Scott are going to do the marathon tonight, the telethon. So our phone number all night will be 256-234-6221 to be part of our program here, Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Then Sports Blitz Live from 7 to 9. Scott, we got a lot to talk about tonight and a lot to go through. And obviously we would love to start here with the Benjamin Russell Wildcats. But in a little bit, I'll have Alexander Smith come up with the 11 and 12-year-old all-star football team that'll be making their way over to the Georgia Dome on November 29th. So I'm excited about that. I'll be assisting there on the staff and Braden on the team, and just 16 really good players from the Alexander City area that's going to be participating, and we're playing Dayville. So Dayville, their community is excited about this, and we're going to get to play one another, and it's going to be a lot of fun, Scott. So we'll have those guys up here in just a little bit. We'll talk to Alexander and then have the team up here. But we'll start with Benjamin Russell. Benjamin Russell High School, one of 8 teams left in 6A, Scott, as one of the things that you look at with this football team is complete dominance here in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs against 2 very, very good opponents.
Yeah, and you take out the number 1 seeded McAdory team, who, for all accounts, were very athletic. The score doesn't necessarily indicate how early on how close the game was, but I don't think I've seen – I was talking to somebody, and I don't want to individualize Tyree or anything like that, but the way this offense is playing, in particular at the quarterback position, I think this may be the best Wildcat football team that I've covered, at least in the last 10 years, and I've been watching it for 20. It's probably in the top 2. Obviously, the state championship team holds the bar there because they were able to go on and win it. But for a team to be able to continue to have such sustained success, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they'll be able to do. And on a side note, if this team is able to move on the next 2 or 3 weeks and ultimately win a state championship, I don't think there's anybody more deserving than Coach Danny Horn for the rejuvenation of the program that he was able to do here and get everybody back on track. And I just love to see where we are as a high school program right now. I grew up in a 6A environment where Benjamin Russell was always going to be competitive, and to see it back to where it is now, I don't think the fans or the community could be any more excited than what we are right now.
No, I agree with you. And just a phenomenal run for this team. And again, they'll have another test against Bessemer City, a team that really has hit their peak at the right time. It was a team that a lot of people didn't talk about throughout the year, but they were in a good region up there with McAdory. They lost to McAdory late in that game in a shootout, 41-35. So they're up to the task. They were able to win this past week against Blount from Region 1, 10-7. It was a game a lot of people didn't feel like would be that low scored. A lot of people felt like it'd be a lot of points in that ball game, but for the most part, it was a defensive struggle. I didn't get a chance to really see a synopsis of that football game and how it played out, but for the end all of end all is they ended up with 3 more points than Blount did, and they move on. We fully anticipated it would be Blount. We'd be seeing this coming up Friday night at the Sportsplex. It's not. It's another opponent. And look, you got to watch out for teams like this, Scott, that hit their stride and are playing really good in the playoffs and toward the end of the season, because everybody's record 0-0 every week. It starts over. And what you did last week and the week before to teams, no matter how good they were, it doesn't matter anymore. Now you're to the next level, and Bessemer City don't care how many points we scored on McAdory, and they don't care that we really dominated Saraland the first week. All they care about is they're in the third round too, and they're 1 of 8. And we can ill afford to come out there and have a letdown. We can't have a letdown Friday. We really need to continue to play the way we've been playing, really get off to a fast start, and do what Tyree Gray does. And that's why you like your chances of not having a letdown when you have a quarterback like Tyree Gray.
And that'll be a good segue into our Lake Martin sports, or excuse me, our Lake Martin area. I was about to call it the United Way.
Just call it whatever you want to. I mean, you've named about 3 or 4 different things, so it doesn't matter.
Lake Martin Sports Roundup Player of the Week is Tyree Gray, and he had another phenomenal performance this past Friday. He gained 212 yards of offense, 2 touchdowns, had a 77-yard touchdown run, and a 34-3 victory over McAdoo. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the highlights from past week against Bessemer City, against McAdoo, please go check it out. Every week, you ask for a Tyree run. Usually it happens early on. It happened a little later than what we're used to seeing this week. But I remember listening to the game, and you had just stated, and then you can even hear it on the highlights about how this will be the
you can hear it out and faint in the distance.
Yeah,
as faint in the distance of that call is.
Yeah, we definitely went through some things there, but I think you guys definitely will have it all together by Friday. But kind of just speaking about this offense, as much credit as Tyree and the offensive line gets, as well as the skill position players, I think a lot of credit needs to go to the offensive coordinator, Kevin Smith. He continuously puts Tyree in the offensive positions to be successful. Very rarely are you looking at a situation where you're in a lot of 3rd and longs, and when your offense is able to start out 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 consistently and have 3rd and short, then you're going to be successful, and that allows them to score as many points as possible, and then also keeps drives alive and keeps your defense off the field. So I think, again, this is going to be a game that – and which will go going forward in the rest of the playoffs, but it's going to be dominated by the offensive and defensive lines of scrimmage for the Wildcats. And if they're able to maintain their physical dominance that they have been, I think you'll see another successful run Friday.
And let me say this about Kevin Smith. He does a phenomenal job calling the plays, and he and Coach Horn back and forth in getting a game plan together every week. But frankly, and Coach Horn will tell you this, and Kevin will tell you this because he's a good friend of ours. I mean, me and you, you just foam at the mouth for a player like Tyree Gray. I mean, and here's why. I'm going to give you some stats here. He's run the ball 130 times this year for 1,639 yards. That's a 12.6 per carry average for Tyree Gray. He's got 29 rushing touchdowns and 6 passing touchdowns on the season for the Wildcats. And find me some numbers anywhere else as good as those numbers for Tyree Gray. His counterpart in the backfield, like Thunder, Nicole B. Maxwell, he's gone 236 times for 1,473 yards. That's 6.24 yards per carry, and that's 13 touchdowns on the ground for Nicole B. Maxwell. So you look at what Tyree Gray and Nicole B. Maxwell have done as a combination. It's tremendous duo back there in the backfield, Scott.
I mean, 3,000 yards of total offense between the two, nearly averaging 10 yards a carry between the both of them. I mean, they have been N'Kobe became what we thought he was going to be, and he's really emerged the last 4 to 5 weeks. Another player, DeVee Heron, who was a jolt of lightning to this Wildcat offense. But again, it all revolves back to number 8, who is the stir that mixes the drink, and that's Tyree Gray. I think he does a tremendous job of keeping everybody balanced. The offensive line also has been playing lights out. Coach Tal Morrison had the opportunity to speak with him for a little bit today during Daniel Bland's ring ceremony or signing ceremony today from Line.
Hopefully he's got a ring ceremony coming up.
So. He had 2 of them on today from his state championships, but we're excited about him, and hopefully we'll be able to show you guys some of the footage from that later on, maybe on the 7 to 9 show. But again, this offense is it's so fun to watch, and so it takes for granted how good the defense has actually been playing as well too, because somebody like number 7, Timmy Lawson, has really been a great second half player, and that has allowed them to even do more defensively from a blitz perspective as well. So it's just been a lot of fun to see this team mature and grow.
Number 58 is where you start on defense, and number 66 up front. It's Tay Robinson and it's Trey Edwards. All the guys on defense as a whole playing great, but those 2 guys really, if you had to go level by level, it's Tay Robinson, and then I like to use Trey as a hybrid player because he lines up at defensive end. He lines up at linebacker sometimes, depending on where he needs to go. And then Timmy in the secondary. Of course, you got Tyree back there. You got Darius back there. I mean, you got Jacob Rogers.
I mean, there's
a lot of talent on this team. And as you go back through, and I go back and I think back on the 2001 team that won a state championship. I mean, you got Jeremy Toller in the secondary, and you got Brent Dye back there, and you got Tyrone Martin and Marquise Gunn and Eric Brock, and I mean on the offensive line,
that's
you got
team to beat. I can't lie. Now that you're naming these,
well, I
these
mean,
names
I'm just telling you. I mean, on the offensive side, I mean, you got the Harrelson twins. Clay was putting up numbers similar to what Tyree did running the football. You just got a lot of different players that have eerie similarities to the group this year, and they can get it done. So, we got enough talent, we got enough depth to get it done. And that's another thing. The second level guys that come in and give our first teamers some breathers, they're quality players. You're not plugging a guy in going, oh man, I keep, we hope it don't bust a big play while we got our second team guys. I mean, you've got to rotate eight or nine guys in, and West Tate does a good job on the front defensive line of being able to do that and have that at their luxury. We got a strong offensive front up front, and to block for Tyree and Colby, throwing the football when we have to. You got David Herring. I mean, he's done really, really good. You got Cole Grogan, Sean Rates back in the receiving core now. You got Buck Kelly. I mean, there's just a ton of guys that you can look to, and that makes it easy on the offense because you don't have one guy like a Velas Jones for Saraland. You feel like you got to get the ball to, over and over and over. If they shut one thing down, we can go to something else.
Yeah, and again, the balance. That's you bring up a good point. We're so balanced offensively, and if you're looking at it, while we may not throw the ball a lot, the threat for us to be able to throw the ball has been there. You've seen the offense open up the last second half, of the season. But the thing with this class, again, we always revert back to this, but the chemistry on this team is something I haven't seen in a very long time. It goes back to the middle school days during Daniel's celebration today.
Yeah.
That was one of the main things he talked about was the fact that, these are my brothers. And so when you see them on the sideline every Friday and you see how they play, that's how they play.
I didn't even mention Chase Burton, who moved over as a 1,000-yard rusher last year, that moved over to play outside linebacker this year. I mean, true team player. Just go where I need to go. I mean, been very easy for him to go, I'm a senior. I want to run the football. I ran for 1,000 yards last year. I feel like I can get it done. Chase Burton says, where do you need me, coach? I'm ready to play where I can help this team. And he's been a added boost over there on the outside linebacker post in a position we needed somebody.
I will say this, though, in back talking about Bessemer City in the matchup this Friday, this team kind of reminds me of a Saraland of last year where, they get an unexpected victory. Not a lot of people thought they were capable of beating Opelika, but didn't think they could actually do it. The same thing with Bessemer City and Blunt. If I'm not mistaken, Bessemer City actually was up 28-7 on McAdoo when they were playing each other. So,
you can't take this team lightly.
Yeah.
Ben Russell has to do exactly what they've been doing, is come out, take control of the football game, whether it be offense or defense. McAdoo tried to get us out of sorts a little bit early in that game with some chippiness, and, it just didn't start the right way. But our defense only allowed 3 points on that first drive from McAdoo. We come back and answer immediately with a touchdown, and really it kind of started going downhill from there. But, Scott, we're going to talk more about that a little bit later on. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, Alexander Smith will come join me, and we'll talk about this phenomenal opportunity for some of our 11 and 12-year-old kids here in Alex City to be able to go to the Georgia Dome and play in an all-star game after the Falcons-Vikings. So Alexander Smith will be up here with me next. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR's right after this.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Are tires and car repairs sexy? No.
But when you shop for tires, maintenance, or AC service at S&S Discount Tire in Allen City or Dadeville, you'll find they're the total package you'll take home to meet mama. With S&S's selection, fast turnaround, and quality work the first time, you'll get the long-term relationship you've been looking for. Start an online relationship at sndstire.com. The tires and car repair total package.
Lake Martin Truck and Auto wants to remind you to hold a flashlight this Halloween season while trick-or-treating to help you see and others see you. Always walk and don't run from house to house. This Halloween safety message brought to you by Lake Martin Truck and Auto, the walking man's friend on Dadeville Road in Alexander City.
Everyone knows that when you shop at Holly's Home Furnishings, you get the best name brand furniture and unbelievable savings. They've got everything your heart desires when it comes to home furnishings by Broyhill, Simmons, Sealy, Lane, and many more. And if they don't, they can get it. So remember, when you're looking for selection, great service, and the best quality at awesome prices, it's always Holly's Home Furnishings. That's Holly's Home Furnishings at 1660 Highway 22 West in Alexander City, or visit them online at hollysHomeFurnishings.com.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
30 seconds.
Don't let pests take your house or business over. Wave the red flag. Red Flag Pest, owned and operated by Scott Davis on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, is licensed, insured, and bonded, and serves the Lake Martin area, specializing in lake homes, residential property, and industrial property. Call for a free inspection today, 256-825-0430, and visit us online at redflagpestcontrol.com. Red Flag Pest Control, when the problem has to stop. Guaranteed.
Come back to your side. 4, 2. Guys. Hello.
Somebody was hollering. It's typical all the time. We're ready.
Y'all missed it?
Yeah, we're here.
You ready?
Yeah.
Come back to you on 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Brett Pritchard now joined by Alexander Smith. Here in JR Sports Bar and Grill. Alexander, glad to have you up here, man. It's
Thank you, Brad.
Exciting time for our kids here in Alex City area and the kids in Dadeville because, our counterparts right down the road going to be our opponents. We got a lot of friends on that side and, just going to be exciting for both of these communities. What a neat experience for these two communities that are 15 minutes apart to get on charter buses, head over to the Georgia Dome, watch the Falcons and Vikings, and then afterwards play each other in a full-quarter football game.
That right there alone, we're very excited to do. All the players, Brett and coaches, Brian and Brandon and myself, very excited. And we all know that this is not something normal. This is not something you do every year. This is huge, and we're looking forward to it. Really getting after it in practice. That last practice we had, I think you agree.
It was great.
There was a lot of popping going on, which is what you want. But we're going to keep them healthy and get ready to go play Dadeville.
Controlled popping is what we were doing.
That's exactly right.
Controlled popping, but that's part of this sport. And when you look at our team and our kids, and we all know all these boys, and we've all coached all of them at some point in time on a baseball team or a different football team or whatever.
Right.
But getting this nucleus of kids together to represent our community, and I know Dadeville's going to get a great group of kids to go represent their community, but they understand the game. They're students of the game. They love playing the game, Alexander. It makes the job for us out there coaching them very easy because they pick up on stuff
It does. It makes things a lot easier for us.
We need all the help we can get, too, don't we?
Yes, we do. Every day. But, you know, we're keeping it simple, a simple game plan, and these kids are used to it. They just know we got to go out there and make the hits and make the blocks, and the rest will take care of itself.
You know, you look at the sport of football all the way from Little League up to NFL, and you talk to all the great coaches in college and everywhere else. It's always about your assignment and your man, and whoever wins that battle is going to win the football game, and the team that's usually the most physical. I mean, I know college football and all has evolved into different types of schemes on offense and all, but at the end of the day, when the dust settles, it's the team that usually blocks and tackles the best on offense and defense. That's football, and it has been that way since it was invented.
That's right. That's the bottom line. And like I said, again, you know, we're keeping it simple, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Dave is probably itching to, you know, get to play us, and we're itching to play them. So it's going to be a great football game. I guarantee you that. It
is going to be a great football game, and the roster, we're going to have our kids up here in just a minute. They're going to come over and introduce themselves and tell everybody, you know, who they are, what position they play, and a lot of these guys are going to be going both ways and interchanging. Everybody's going to get a lot of playing time. Everybody that was selected, all 16 kids, are going to get a lot of playing time in this game. They're going to go back and forth on offense and defense. And what we also like to hear who they like to watch on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, because Friday night you can look right here at Benjamin Russell High School, and there's some guys you want to idolize over there for sure.
Right. And speaking of Benjamin Russell, Coach Horn, who you've dealt with here lately, especially the team as a whole, the parents, everybody involved, would like to throw a big thank you to Coach Horn and Benjamin Russell for supporting us in this. The helmets, that's a huge deal.
That's a treat.
The kids are very excited. And, you know, I told the parents that, you know, it's abnormal for a high school coach that's playing in the playoffs right now to be interested in youth sports and what we're doing. But he understands this is a unique situation.
Oh, yeah.
And he's taking the time with you and gotten the helmets lined up. A huge thank you. And if I could.
Let's go through the sponsors here.
I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. We've got the City of Elliott City, the City Council, unanimous vote last night, supporting us, helping us finish off the invoice on the uniforms.
That's very nice.
That was huge, and we thank each and every one of them. Mayor Shaw, everybody involved with that. We thank everybody. We also got Russell Hospital supporting each player, all 16 players. We got Regeneration LLC paying for the post-game meal on the way home. We got Russell Lands put towards the uniforms, Curley Motor Company, Thomas Auto Parts, Mr. Larry Morris,
yes,
Elliott City Grading, and we've still, to this day, just when we met with the parents a little while ago, we still got people calling in wanting to help.
That's right.
That's huge.
It is huge, Alexander, and all of these businesses and individuals, plus the ones that you haven't named because they're still waiting to see that, and they've already told us what they are going to do something.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to these families. I mean, because it is the holiday season. Right. It is an expensive trip for us to be able to go do this. This came together very quickly, and every one of these parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles were all in. They never questioned, hey, I don't know about this, and they figured out a way to pay their money up front, and that was tremendous to be able to give these kids an opportunity to do something maybe once in a lifetime.
Well, I tell you, thanking all the sponsors, but also, at the same time, we want to thank, Sonny Wilson over at Parks and Rec.
He got it started.
He got it started, and, we're taking the ball and running with it. And, of course, you know how he is, and, of course, the city is the same way with Benjamin Russell.
That's right.
We're not going to lose. We're going to win.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. I told Coach Horn, and we invited him to go on the trip with us, and he said, yeah, I definitely would love to do that if we're not getting ready for another game. And I told him, I said, well, I hope you don't go.
Hopefully you're not with us.
Hope you're not with us, because I hope you're getting ready for another game.
You on the way home.
Exactly right. So, just an exciting time for Alex City, exciting time for Dayville. You know, those kids and those coaches down there as an opponent, you know, 2 teams from Tallapoosa County going over to play in the Georgia Dome. The following Saturday in that building be the SEC championship game.
That's correct.
So we'll be the last game on that field before they roll up the turf and get ready for the SEC championship game next Saturday. So, I mean, tremendous opportunity, and the kids understand it. They're going to be in awe. We're going to be in awe to be able to go down on the and coach on the sideline down there. And, you know, for that first 5 or 10 minutes for both teams, it may be a lot of looking around and staring up into the rafters. But hopefully we'll get all that.
Go for coaches too.
That's exactly right. Hopefully we can get all that worked out and stretching and warming up.
Right.
Alexander, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll have our kids. We'll come up here and line them up along the rail. And Scott Hardy will come back up here and join us. And he'll ask them some questions. This is usually the fun part of the show. You never know what answers you're going to get. So you just kind of hold your breath. It always is. So stay tuned for the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR's right after this.
Back to you on 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Brett Pritchard, Scott Hardy, and Coach Alexander Smith. I want to thank the coaches, too. Real quick, Alexander, you know, you're the head coach, and the rest of us are there to help you. But Brandon Foshi's here. Brian Riddle wasn't able to make it tonight. He had some prior engagements with work that he had to take care of, and I know he's listening to us tonight. But for all of us to be together, it's a great opportunity.
Right, and then, you know, it takes all of us to make it happen. Coach Brian Riddle, you know, the offensive mind, you know, going to run the offense. He and I working on that, and then you and Coach Brandon working on the defense. So So we're going to score. So it's up to y'all.
I guess I was just about to say, we're not going to allow any points. So unless you want to be there all night playing overtime, y'all better put at least one touchdown on the board.
We'll take care of it. I promise.
Yeah,
Coach Brian will make the seat to it.
There you go. There you go. I feel good about it. But, Scott, now it's time to bring up the guys. We'll bring them up one at a time. You got a few questions for them there, Scott?
Yeah, I do, and we'll go ahead and start. Hopefully, the players are as confident as their coaches. So we'll come on. I hope it relays it down. All right, what is your name?
My name is Duntaris Thomas.
And what position do you play, offense or defense?
On offense, I play receiver. On defense, I play safety.
And who is your favorite college football team?
Arbor.
Who's your favorite player?
Sean White.
Sean White, man.
Hit the surprise. That's all right there.
What's wrong with that? No, it's not a surprise for. I mean,
it can't help it.
I'm sorry. Thank you. What's your name?
Zai Tuck.
And what position do you play?
On offense, I play right guard, and on defense, I play linebacker.
And your favorite college football team is?
Oregon.
And who's your favorite player?
I don't really know. I like all players.
He's got a famous last name, for a guy that's around his area.
He does.
And that number right there, 91. I didn't know if there was a little bit of a. Didn't know if it was a tie.
We appreciate you coming up here. We'll keep them rolling. I think I know this guy. Who we have?
Gavin.
9. Okay, we have.
Got Gavin.
What's your name?
Gavin Vickers.
And what position do you play?
Defensive end and tight end.
And who's your favorite college football team?
Cam Newton.
Team.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same.
You know what? In 2010, he was the team.
That is the greatest answer ever. So we're good. I appreciate you coming up here. Thank you. Who's this fella right here?
Clayton Foshie.
And what position do you play?
Guard on offense and defensive end on defense.
Favorite football team?
Auburn.
And your favorite football player?
Carlos.
That's what I'm talking about.
You thought, hey, right now we're doing pretty good, Auburn versus Alabama. I know this one's going to say the right
What's your name?
thing, too.
J.A. Smith.
And Mr. Smith, what position do you play?
Outside linebacker and wide receiver.
And who's your favorite college football team?
Auburn.
Favorite player?
Jason Smith.
Jason Smith.
There you go.
This dude's pretty good right here. Let's keep it going. Let's see what you got for me. What's your name?
Quinn Wilson.
And what position do you play?
Fullback, running back, wide receiver, and middle linebacker.
You're pretty versatile. And what is your favorite college football team?
Alabama.
You got a favorite football player?
Derrick Henry.
I knew that was coming. There we go.
All right, who's this fella right here? Who we have talking to me?
Satchel Byrne.
And what position do you play?
Right guard and defense tackle.
And who's your favorite football team?
Alabama.
Favorite player?
Reggie Ragland.
Now, see, his brother Chase on the Ben Russell team's favorite team's Auburn. So, Scott.
Yeah, definitely a great family there. And I think I know number 99 right here. What's your name?
Brady Pritchard.
And what position do you play?
Guard and tackle.
And I got to guess, but who's your favorite football team?
Auburn.
And favorite player?
J.J. Watt.
Well, all right, good deal.
There you go.
All right, we'll keep it moving. And what is your name?
Trace McHale.
And what position do you play?
Center and defensive line.
And who's your favorite college football team?
Alabama.
Knew that one.
You got a favorite player?
Derrick Henry.
All right, good deal.
Here we go.
Another one of the crowd. What's your name?
Weston Blake.
And what position do you play?
Offensive and defensive line.
That's what I'm talking about. You got a favorite football team?
Auburn.
And favorite football player?
Cam Newton.
I think we can win with that one.
Yeah, that's right. We need him back.
We definitely need him there.
What's your name, sir?
Levi Hamlet.
And what position do you play?
Outside linebacker on defense and receiver on offense.
A little quick stride there. And who's your favorite football team?
Alabama.
You have a favorite football player?
All
Hey, don't let the size fool you. He'll hit you. So, all right. Yeah,
That's what I had on.
Yeah, he will.
What's your name?
Trey Marshall.
And what position do you play?
Quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
And do you like offense or defense better?
Offense.
All right. And who's your favorite college football team?
Alabama.
You got a favorite player?
Odell Beckham.
ODB. All right.
There you go. There you go.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking
What's your name?
Clay Marshall.
And what position do you play?
Wide receiver and outside linebacker.
And what was your favorite part about the season so far? And are you excited about your game against the Tigers in Atlanta?
Sportz, tackling, and yeah, I'm excited.
You got a favorite football team?
Alabama,
And a favorite player?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode. Okay.
Beast mode.
Making it up a little bit.
That's
He's
it.
just here so he won't get fined. Who we got right here? What position you play?
Right tackle,
Tackle. And who's your favorite football team?
Alabama,
Alabama. You got a favorite football player?
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Jackson. Alabama and a Bo Jackson.
There you go.
Hey, man. Hey,
I'm
you just never know what
I
you're
like
gonna
that.
get, so.
I like that. I think that's it for everybody.
That's
but
it.
Just on my side, just something I want to say. I've seen you guys coach these young gentlemen up for quite some time, and Braden now getting ready to go to the 7th grade. That's so crazy. I was listening to guys talking about that, but I want to say y'all have done a tremendous job with them, and congratulations on being able to take them on what I think will be a very memorable experience for them.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you, Scott. And we're going to take a break here, and we're going to get them all up here, get a picture, Scott, and excited. And hopefully the next time we come back up here, we'll talk about a big win. And I know our Dable counterparts are listening down there. I got a lot of friends on that side, but they know when we get on the field, it's going to be fun, and may the best team win. So exactly right. So we'll take a break. Stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup presented by JR's right after this.
We've served this community for many years.
All right, everybody line up right here.
And sympathy in a time
Tall,
of loss.
big ones in the back. Big ones in the back. Here, let's push this.
We extend our sympathies and our
All right, come on back. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit.
Serve you with a family tribute. Langley Funeral Home.
There you go. There you go.
Tribute.
Langley Funeral
Hey.
Home, a proud tradition continues for the next.
Make sure you can
100
see
years.
the camera. If you can't see the camera, he can't see you, okay?
Premium retailer located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280.
All right, you're looking at
in
Mr.
Alex City.
Scott
We've got
right
all
there,
the
okay?
latest cell phones along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander
All right,
City
good
on
job,
Highway
guys.
280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
What are you waiting for? Call Kenneth Ingram Jr. now.
My name is Kenneth Ingram Jr. I specialize in personal injury, wrongful death cases, and business disputes. What you need are results, and I've been getting those results for almost 30 years. Call me today, 256-212-9700, and let me help you get what you deserve.
Kenneth Ingram Jr., champion of the common man.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys. Every cowboy knows that the place to go for your automotive needs is Walls Tire. Highway 280, just a mile past the river bridge. Whether it's routine maintenance or repairs, large or small, Brian Walls and his dedicated staff at Walls Tire get you in and out fast with quality work at the best prices around. You gotta go to Walls Tire,
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're looking for the best chicken fingers or wings in town, then look no further than JR Sports Bar and Grill in Alex City. Order my favorite, the Wing Basket, or try an awesome burger, quesadilla, crab claws, or dig into a healthy and delicious salad. JR's offers daily lunch specials that save you money without sacrificing on taste. Check out their Facebook page for daily lunch specials. JR's can also cater any special event from weddings to tailgate parties and has a huge party room for any special occasion. Stop by soon at JR Sports Bar and Grill at their location right off Highway 22 in Alex City.
The AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, Friday nights at 9:30 on Kowaliga.
Come back on time. 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Brett Pritchard and Scott Hardy here with you until 7, and then we'll make our way on over to the TV studio as we'll have Sports Blitz Live coming to you from 7 to 9. We'll talk man, we'll set the quarterfinal matchups around the state of Alabama and all classifications in high school football. This will be our last Friday night of the scoreboard show, as we'll be down to the Final Four after this coming up Friday. And sure, keeping our fingers crossed that Benjamin Russell continues to play the way they played, and they'll take care of business Friday night at Sportsplex and slide on to their next opponent in the fourth round, which would be the winner of the Opelika Spanish Fort, not Saraland, Opelika Spanish Fort matchup. And you look at our region, Region 3, we've got 2 teams left, Ben Russell and Opelika, 2 of the 8 teams left in 6A are from our region. So, Blackman, here's the storyline for everybody outside of the Ben Russell Bessemer City game. Ben Blackman's the coach at Spanish Fort, and Brian Blackman's the coach at Opelika. They're brothers. They will coach against one another Friday night. This is the Friday prior to Thanksgiving. So the next week should be interesting in the Blackman household for Thanksgiving. There's no doubt about it, because one of them's going to be out and the other one's going to be continuing to play. So, but you got to think, that's a unique situation. Brian has been at Opelika for a while. Ben was at Greenville. Then he went to Gulf Shores and now to Spanish Fort. And they played each other in the Champions Challenge, Scott. Randy and I called that game for the network and for TV that day. And Opelika took care of business pretty handily down at Crampton Bowl a few years ago. But that was a non-counting game. It was just basically a glorified scrimmage. But Ben Blackman inherited a great program at Spanish Fort that Mark Freeman built. And they've got a lot of talent down there. They got a great quarterback in Tyler Johnston. He's going to lead the way. Opelika's got a great quarterback. This is going to be a great matchup down there at Spanish Fort.
I can't imagine a bigger game in the state, honestly. I mean, I know from the playoff implications that you have going on matchup-wise, the different storylines, the brotherhood there, the great communities that are supporting each one of these schools. I just don't think there's a better game in the state than you'll see Spanish Fort Opelika. And obviously, if you're Benjamin Russell, we have a storied history with both, so you don't really care who you get. We've had our postseason woes with Opelika as well as Spanish Fort as well. So I think that the players don't have a particular opponent in mind. Obviously, Bessemer City is the main concern right now, but if they are able to succeed and win this Friday, if you want to break it down, what happens if Opelika wins or Spanish Fort, how it'll go for Benjamin Russell?
You look at the last 3 years, Scott. We've played Spanish Fort, lost 21-10. It was 14-10 late in the game, had them backed up in the end zone. They made a play on third down and eventually moved on and scored and ended the game. But we had a chance to win that ball game, but they made a tremendous play. The next year, St. Paul's comes to Alex City, and we had opportunities to win that game too. Didn't play very well that night. I ended up losing in overtime. So that one stung. Last year, back to Spanish Fort again. Spanish Fort, that was a high-scoring game for both teams. They called a couple breaks, some iffy calls. We don't normally talk about officials, but some iffy calls on a play that was brought back on a touchdown for us or a man downfield. Swung momentum. I'll be honest about it. Swung momentum. I don't think we ever recovered from it. So 3 times now in the last 3 years, that region and that of the state or that region in particular has cost us a chance to move on and play for a state title. So we've kind of built up our own rivalry with that area of the state. We got a little bit of revenge with Saraland. Saraland was the runner-up last year. They played in the state championship game. Should have beaten Clay Chalkville, had scored right at the very end, but Clay Chalkville came down, scored with about a minute to go in the game and beat them. But we felt like Saraland coming in with that runner-up title attached to their name, this is going to be a tough game. We came out and absolutely dominated them. So it gave a lot of confidence to our guys that say, look, it doesn't matter. We can beat those teams from that region if we just concentrate and we play good. Because I don't think, if you look back at a couple of those games we've lost, Scott, we didn't play very good. We didn't give our best effort. Now, you go out there and you play your best and they beat you, then you can tip your hat. But you don't like to walk away from the game going, man, if we'd have just done this or we'd have just made one more play here or we just executed here. So I think that's what Coach Horn's, his mojo's been here. And whether it be Spanish Fort or Opelika, The same goes for Opelika. We're up 20-17 at half. We played them as close or closer than anybody's played them all year. So we know we can play with both teams. We know we can beat both teams. So I think we would love the opportunity to play Spanish Fort to get over that hump and say, look, you've gotten us twice. You ain't going to get us the third time. And we'd like to have a rematch against Opelika because we know, hey, it was early in the season. We were still trying to find ourselves a little bit. We're a totally different team now at the end of the season, and we're playing really good. I think Opelika and Ben Russell probably playing as good as anybody in the state right now.
Yeah, and I completely agree with what you're saying about Benjamin Russell. And the playoff runs that started for Coach Horn since he came back started with the run that was against Spanish Fort, as you talked about 3 years ago. We lose to them. And I'll say that season I thought that the team was good enough to win, but we were kind of just starting to reemerge as a program, rebuilding to where we were. Last year, I thought we were good enough to play with them. We did, as you said, we didn't make key plays when we needed to, but I think it's just a completely different psyche for this team. First off, it starts at the top. They have a great coach in Coach Horn, who in the playoffs, good luck trying to beat him. I mean, he has had losses in the playoffs, but when it gets this deep in the playoff run, you want somebody with experience and the moxie as a coach to be able to control the players and keep them calm. Same thing with Tyree Gray in the offense. They look for him for leadership. I've seen it all year on the sideline, who they look to when they need something big. Tyree, and it's Daniel Brown on the offensive line, Anthony Parker, Kobe Maxwell, all these guys we've been talking about all season. Now it really matters, and I think you can tell it. There's just a different buzz, vibe that you get from talking to coaches and players and even people in the community. If you'd have said early in the year, who are the top 2 or 3 teams you'd want to play, Opelika and Spanish Fort, and maybe coming in may not have been as confident, but seeing this team grow and mature as they have offensively with the playbook and expanding it, I think that if we're able to get by Bessemer City Friday, I hope we do get the opportunity to play Opelika, mainly because of what happened early in the season, but it sure would be good to get over that hump against Spanish Fort.
It would. Either way, we won't be choosy. We'll be glad to be
in the fourth round,
playing whoever our matchup is, and it'll be a tough one, but we got one ahead that, as you just said, we cannot afford to overlook or we won't get there, and that's Bessemer City. It's a good football team. We need to take care of business. We come back, we'll end the show. Scott, I know you got something that you want to talk about, and I'll run down Bessemer City's record for everybody and kind of let everybody know where they've been and how they've gotten to this point as well. So stay tuned. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show presented by JR's right after this.
If you're looking for the best chicken fingers or wings in town, then look no further than JR Sports Bar and Grill in Ellick City. Order my favorite, the Wing Basket, or try an awesome burger, quesadilla, crab claws, or dig into a healthy and delicious salad. JR's offers daily lunch specials that save you money without sacrificing on taste. Check out their Facebook page for daily lunch specials. JR's can also cater any special event from weddings to tailgate parties and has a huge party room for any special occasion. Stop by soon at JR Sports Bar and Grill at their location right off Highway 22 in Ellick City. DHK Tire and Lube in Dadeville has everything your car needs to keep you rolling. Tires, oil changes, brakes, and most mechanic work. DHK Tire and Lube can have you in and out in no time without busting your budget. Conveniently located at 321 East South Street in Dadeville, DHK Tire and Lube is a locally owned and operated company that keeps you and your car's best interest at heart. Stop by today or call 256-307-7276. That's DHK Tire and Lube in Dadeville.
It's been a great boating season, but it's time to get that boat out of the water and ready for winter. Trust the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine, with 2 convenient locations. Alex City Marine is the place to go for complete winterization and storage of your boat, no matter the make or model. We offer great deals on off-season repairs and off-season prices on the powerful Suzuki engine. Need a new boat? Now's the time to get one, with off-season pricing on all Landau pontoon boats. Trust the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alex City, and Alex City Marine South at the corner of 63 and 229.
Around here, we have our own way of looking at things, whether it's a community event or an afternoon stroll, a lakeside sunset, or our community hospital.
Used to be just
we expect the best.
Oh, that's who they were?
Leading-edge technology, expert care, highly skilled nursing,
changed name from Just
and
Lanier
quality
2000.
outcomes. Always
You said
being
one
our
of your
best
cousins from
He went-
and
yeah, he
caring for the
graduated
needs
in
of
like
our
2000.
hometown. Russell
They won a
Medical
championship
Center.
9.
We're here for you.
Boy, they've been good. Boy, look at their record.
Hello, I'm Russell Buildings.
625, 351.
That's solid.
Say what you doing.
That's
Chicken
top.
inventory
That's
in all
one of
of
the
our
top in the
departments.
state.
Well, you're Russell. I thought you only sold lumber to
They may be
contractors.
all right.
No. We
just
have lots of
Well, I mean,
items like
they've-
nails, nuts and bolts, plumbing, electrical supplies.
I mean, that right there.
Okay.
Paints, and lawn and garden, windows,
What
doors,
is
and
Park
cabinets,
Crossing?
all
They-
at a low price guarantee.
Are they
Okay,
like
I
a?
get it. I guess I was selling you a little short.
I didn't. I just figured
Smitty Grotter went down there. He ain't found it real easy.
9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central.
They scored a lot of points this year.
For over 30 years,
All right,
Allen
I'm just
Ford has been
going
your
to,
family-owned auto dealer for hot.
Final segment here on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup Show. Brett Pritchard, Scott Hardy here, ending up the show. Bessemer City, Scott, want to run down real quick. They're 8-4 on the season. In the playoffs, they defeated Parks Crossing 28-24. Defeated Blunt last week 10-7. So that's your two teams that they've been able to eliminate and move on to take on Benjamin Russell here in the third round of the playoffs. Some other scores, they lost their losses. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa in overtime 23-20. They lost to McAdory 41-35. Lost to Northridge 27-20, and lost to Spain Park 24-6, which is not unexpected at all. I mean, Spain Park, very, very tough football team, to say the least. But that's kind of where Bessemer City, they were formerly Jess Lanier. Jess Lanier, a very prominent program in Birmingham. They changed their name to Bessemer City in 2010. They won a state championship in 1990, but what's more important is their percentage of wins over the long haul for the history of their program. 625 wins, 351 losses, and 33 ties. That's 64%. One of the top programs in the state of Alabama will be coming in here Friday night.
Yeah, and again, anybody who knows about high school playoffs or playoffs in general, you can't worry about what happened in the regular season. You look at what happened last season with a team like I forget, who did we bring in here for the first game? Tellestone's team.
BC Rain.
They make a run. The regular season records do not matter when it comes to the playoffs. It's about who's playing hot, and sometimes you just come up against a team who may not match up that well against you. And so that kind of is what happens a lot of times with Benjamin Russell. When we've lost to some of these teams in the southern part of the state, it's because we didn't necessarily match up as well. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen this Friday, and hopefully that I'll have another opportunity to see Tyree Gray make one of his long runs that he's made each game, and it's become a factual thing now. It's just something that's going to happen. So you just wonder when and how long it's going to be. But overall, done a tremendous job coaching, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what the product is on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. So we'll see how it all plays out. And Scott, you got some. we need to close the show out, and you got something you'd like
Brett
to.
And I, one day we're going to do a behind the scenes.
No, we're not. No, we're not at all. So I promise
but
you.
I will say this. For those of you who don't know, I am a.
Oh, we may stick around for a while.
Yeah, I have to do a shout out on this though. I do work for United Way as marketing community impact director for them, and it's been a tremendous experience. And this is the thick of our campaign season, and we will be having our 4th annual Denim and Diamond Ball that is presented by the Dayville Area Chamber of Commerce. There's something that I think everybody will enjoy. You get a steak dinner provided by Popular Dogs. Anybody from the area knows how great their food is. And I think the highlight of the evening will be live music by Lisa and Illusion. I had the opportunity to see them play a few times during the summer at different places on the lake, and they're definitely a band that you'll want to see. There will be some auction items available. A few of the things, a Yeti cooler by Farmers and Merchants Bank, Lake Martin Pizza Company, a $50 gift certificate. There will be an advertising package by our own John Kennedy with Kowaliga Country, Neffers Dinner for 2, and 6 All-Star Bubbles gift certificates, which I'm pretty sure is valued around $400. So we're really excited about that. So again, the tickets are $50. You can pick them up at the Dayville Area Chamber of Commerce, Lake Martin Area United Way, and the Rodeo Club in Dayville.
A lot of good stuff there. I want to support the that Denim and Diamonds. It's always a huge event. It's a fun event. Make sure you get your tickets for that. But, Scott, we're going to end it up right now here at JR Sports Bar. It's been a great program here tonight, and it's a lot of excitement with our group being able to go over to Atlanta. Benjamin Russell, just a lot of stuff going on. Good times here at JR's each and every Tuesday and Friday and Saturday for that matter. Just pick a day, flip a coin. So anyway, we're going to flip our way on out and head on over to the studio for Sports Blitz Live. Keep it tuned right here.